Yeah, I started the live stream just a couple of minutes early, so I was just ready, so I pushed go live, and here I am. You could just fast forward through this part until you see me on my mat, and that's when the asana practice will begin. If you join me in class any other day this week, I had some recs. I had a movie rec. How to move into these specific shapes.
So when I was thinking about that today, I was thinking this is really the time in the practice where we're establishing a trust between mind and body. We're listening to our bodies and saying, hey, we're listening. And if this ever becomes too much, we have choice. So recognize in this moment, through these postures, that although I'm presenting more choice here, you always have choice in your practice. Okay, come back to a neutral spine, lower ribs in and back, shoulders over the wrist. First, let's bring the left palm in front of the face for stability as we bring the right hand to the back of the skull. Inhale, open the chest towards the right wall, gaze and elbow point up. Exhale and curl in, elbow towards the wrist, shoulder blades apart. Inhale, open right, look up. Exhale and curl in. Last one, first side. Inhale, open to the right wall. And exhale, curl in. Now the right hand centers in front of the face, left hand behind the skull. Inhale, open left. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, open left. Exhale, curl in. Last one, inhale, open, shoulder blades together. And exhale, curl in, shoulder blades apart. So in this vein of being explorers, being on the journey of the practice rather than being treasure seekers in our practice, we're going to bring the left knee forward, extend the right leg back. Look forward and extend the left arm forward into what is sometimes called explorer pose. Reach through the fingertips, push back through the right foot, and in the middle find that stability of your lower ribs drawing in and back. So you might think about the foot grounding you in the past, your gaze and the fingertips reaching towards the future, and in the center you have that presence of mind, that stability of your core. Okay, right toes point, bend the knee, reach back for the inside of the foot or ankle. Once you have a good grip, begin to kick the foot into the hand, lifting the right thigh away from the floor. As the foot kicks into the hand, the left shoulder is drawn deeply onto the back of the chest for this crossbow pose. Release the shoulder back, extend the heart forward, curl in the upper back, push with the foot, lift with the thigh. Feel what you're feeling. And then release the knee down, release the hand down, and bring the right knee a bit towards center as you extend the left leg back. Knee and toes point down so that the hips are at even height. Right arm extends forward. Try to keep your shoulders at an even height as well. So again, moving into this explorer shape, thinking about the exploration, having a foot in the past and an eye towards the future and an awareness in the present. Reach back with the heel, reach forward with the fingertips, and point the left toes. Reach back with the right hand for the left foot. If you can get a good grip there, then kick the foot into the hand, let the right shoulder be drawn deeply onto the back of your chest. Kick with the foot, lift with the thigh, release the shoulder back. Curl the upper back, gaze might be forward or it might be interesting to turn the gaze up. If that's more distracting and painful than interesting, then don't do it. That's my other recommendation for the day. Okay, release the knee down, release the hand down, and we're going to press back into a tabletop position, or a plank position, Shoulders over the wrist, shoulders, hips, and heels in a line. Inhale in your plank position. Exhale, slowly lower your knees to the floor and tilt your tailbone skyward like cow pose. Bend your elbows back, reach your chin and chest forward, and slowly lower to the floor. Chin and chest at the same time, roughly. Okay, slide forward onto your belly, point your toes back, round through the tops of your feet, engage the muscles of your legs, hug your shoulder blades together behind your heart, and glide your shoulder blades down the back side of your chest. Inhale, peel your chin and chest up, keeping your elbows hugging in towards your side ribs and pointing back. Look, ma, no hands. Slowly elevate your hands away from the floor as you shrug your shoulder blades together, using the strength of your upper back to lift your chest, open your heart, and then push your hands back down into the floor and keep your elbows in as you elevate your heart higher. Shoulder blades in, shoulder blades down, elbows down, collarbones broad, heart lifts, and tone the legs, press the feet down, lengthen the tailbone back, draw the lower abdomen in and up, king cobra pose, exhale and lower down. Tuck your toes, engage your legs so that your kneecaps lift away from the floor, lengthen back through the tailbone, and then as you exhale next, push up into a plank position. Exhale, hips lead you up and back into our very first downward facing dog. Also, remember, we are listening to our bodies. So there is a degree where we are telling our bodies what to do, a large degree to which we are telling our bodies what to do and how to move. But there is free agency. Not everything I say has to be done. So if downward facing dog is a pose that you know does not serve you well, if you get nauseous, if you get dizzy, consistently in this pose, you can always choose to take a child's pose. Okay, come back to down dog or child's pose. As you inhale, either come to three-legged dog from down dog or push up into table and come to three-legged table with the right leg lifted. Knee and toes point down, look forward, and then with your next exhale, bring your right foot between your hands into a lunge. Knee is over the heel, hands are on fingertips, fists, or even blocks on either side of the right foot. Melt the hips down and forward, right thigh parallels the floor, and then lift through the back inner upper thigh. Back leg straight and strong. You know me, I love a lunge. So do you love a lunge? Maybe you don't love a lunge. Could you get to know a lunge a little better and fall in love? Maybe. So scissor the legs together, right foot forward, right foot back, left foot forward to tone in towards the middle. Drawing in that strength at your center. And then from there, expand out. Reach back through the heel, reach forward through the knee, broaden across the collarbones. And from here, we're gonna send the right hip back, straighten the right leg, round the spine forward, chin to chest, forehead towards or to the knee in a modified pyramid pose. Inhale, come back forward into your lunge. Explore these two poses, possibly synchronizing your movement with your breath. So an inhale, which leads you forward, hips down, and exhale would send the hips up and back, rounding the spine. Again, feel that you have some agency, you have freedom to make decisions in your practice. So if you want to pause in one shape or the other, if you want to take some deepen this by coming all the way up with the arms overhead. Okay, everybody meet back in the low lunge, left palm to the floor, right hand to the right thigh. Press your palm into your thigh to revolve your left ribs towards your right inner thigh and stack your shoulders. Sweep the right arm up. Look up as you reach up, keep the back inner thigh lifted, deep lunge in the right knee. Either choose to stay here or revolve the left ribs skyward, right ribs earthward as though you're going to embrace the sky. Hand down, press back, downward facing dog, tabletop or child's pose. Inhale, left leg lifts straight up and back. Make sure the knee and toes point straight down, even weight pressing down and forward through the hands. Look to the top of your mat, and as you exhale next, lunge your left foot between your hands. Set up on fist, Fingertips or blocks either side of the front foot. Melt the hips down and forward so the knee is over the heel, the left thigh is parallel to the floor. Lift through the back, inner upper thigh, straighten and strengthen the back leg. Shoulders away from the ears, collarbones broad. Arrive in your lunge. What are you feeling? Where are you feeling? Might it be interesting to contrast the experience of this side with the first side? Compare and contrast. They might feel congruent, they might feel quite different. Scissor the legs together, right foot forward, left foot draws back, and then from the pelvis extend out. Back through the heel, forward through the knee, and then as you exhale next, round the spine. Straighten the left leg, round the chin to the chest. Modified pyramid pose, and invitation to start to move with your breath. Inhale to the lunge. Exhale to the pyramid, rounding the spine. Again, you are in control of your practice, of your body in this practice. So make choices that are compliant with your intention for your yoga practice. Or decide to change your intention as you see fit. Okay, come back to your lunge, right palm to the floor, left hand to the thigh, press your palm into your thigh, revolve your right ribs towards your left inner thigh, stack your shoulders, sweep your left arm up, look up, reach up, keep the legs as they are. If you so desire, open up. Right ribs towards the ceiling, left ribs towards the floor. Embrace the sky, sides of the neck back, crown of the head back. And then gaze down, hand down, press back, downward facing dog. Who wants to do some push-ups? Me. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, push up. Remember, these can be done on your knees. Exhale, because it's yoga, we're moving back to down dog. That's one. 4 more first set. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower down with control. Inhale, push up. Exhale, hips lead you back 2. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back 3. 2 more first set. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back. Last one, best one. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower with control. Inhale, press. Exhale, back. Downward facing dog. And either rest in down dog or rest in a child's pose or a puppy dog pose, as we're going to get right into our second set presently. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press. Exhale, hip shift back. 1. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back. 2. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back. 3. 2 more. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back. 4. Last one, best one. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Walk your feet in a couple of inches, as I'm going to do. Bend your knees, lift onto your toes, draw up through the sides of your waistline, up towards the ceiling. Look to the space between your hands, shift your shoulders forward. And as you exhale next, pull your belly button strongly in towards your spine, lift your hips high, and arrive at the top of your mat in a forward fold. Place your feet hip width distance apart, lift and spread your toes. Place them back down to create a wide base with your feet. Root down through that connection between your feet and the earth as you bend your knees. Rest your torso on your thighs. Let your upper body hang forward. Take hold of opposite wrists, forearms, or biceps. And make any movements that feel appropriate here for connecting with the back side of the body, the backs of the legs, the outer hips, the length of the spine, the upper back, the neck, maybe swaying from side to side, maybe shaking the head yes and no. Identifying tension, and then in identifying it, encouraging release and surrender. You might eventually move your shape into relative stillness and tune in to the movement of energy that comes along with each breath. As you inhale, you might visualize movement from the earth up into your hips. You might visualize that movement in the form of water building up into the hips, and as you exhale, that water cascading down the length of your spine like a waterfall. Fingertips to the floor in front of you, or a prop. Inhale, begin to press your legs straight. Exhale, extend the crown of your head more deeply towards the floor, pulling your shoulders up away from your ears, keeping the sides of your neck long. Opening up, activating the back side of the body. With an inhale, bring your palms to your shins, shoulders hug together behind the heart, chin and chest forward, and exhale, fold in. Take the hands to the hips, point your elbows to the ceiling. Inhale, draw back through the sides of the waistline and come all the way up to standing. You might take a moment to consciously reorient in this standing position after that forward fold. Push down from your hips through your feet. And then from the earth, lift along your legs as though you're pulling tight stockings up the legs. Tailbone extends down, front of the hip points lift, collarbones broaden as you roll the shoulders back and open the palms forward, moving into Tadasana pose, mountain. Embody your mountain, growing tall, growing broad, from the earth to the sky. As you inhale next, sweep your arms overhead, palms touch, and exhale, flow forward. Fingertips to the floor in front of you, release your head. Inhale, palms come to shins. Exhale, flow forward, release the head. Inhale, circle the arms out, up and overhead. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your sides. We're gonna do a C salutation, S-E-A-C, like the sea, like a wave. So if you were with me last week, we did this last week. If you are unfamiliar with this salutation, watch me once and we'll do it together a few times. It takes a little getting used to. Okay, inhale to take the arms up and exhale to flow forward. And inhale to halfway lift and exhale to sit down into your fierce chair, thighs parallel to the floor. And inhale to sweep the arms forward and exhale to lower the bottom down, swing the legs overhead. And inhale, momentum coming back up to balance in the half chair pose. Exhale to flow forward. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, once again, fold deeply in. Inhale, rise to stand, arms overhead. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your sides, Tadasana. So I recommend feet together for this sequence. Inhale, join me, sweep the arms up. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold and sink down into your chair. Inhale, arms forward. Exhale, sink your hips down, swing your legs overhead. Inhale, come back up, half chair. Exhale, flow forward, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold more. Inhale, rise up, pushing down, reaching up, looking up. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your sides. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, fold and sit. Inhale, arms forward. Exhale, sink the hips, swing the legs overhead. Inhale to come forward, balance. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, arms overhead, look up, palms touch. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your sides. Let's do that one more time. One more big wave. Reach up, flow forward. Lift halfway, sink down into your chair. Inhale, arms forward. Exhale, swing the legs overhead. Inhale, balance in your half chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise with the breath, arms overhead. Exhale, palms through heart center, arms to your sides. If you'd like, close your eyes as you arrive in your mountain pose. Reconnect with the breath.
Again, consider this moment a culmination of the practice thus far, a culmination of your life so far, a culmination of every moment since the creation of the universe. Don't miss this. Okay, flutter your eyes open, and our next pose is going to be goddess pose. So take your feet 3 feet, maybe 3.5 feet apart, and then make sure you look at the direction your toes are pointing. So I go about a 45-degree angle with my toes, and the direction that the toes are pointing informs the direction that the knees bend. Take your hands to your hips, throw on your superhero cape, broaden your collarbone, shoulder blades on the back, and now begin to bend your knees in the direction of your toes. This may require some adjustment as your hips move down, tailbone lengthens towards the floor, thighs come parallel to the earth. Extend through the inner thighs, contract through the outer hips, upper body back, lower ribs in and back, sweep your arms overhead, exhale, right arm underneath your left arm, eagle arms, palms touch or grab shoulders. Either way, elbows lift. If the hands are together, forearms away from the face, upper body back, extension through the inner thighs, contraction through the outer hips, weight in the heels for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to straighten my legs, sweep the arms overhead, exhale, left arm underneath the right, palms touch or grab shoulders, bend the knees, sink the hips down. Hips to the height of the knees, lengthening through the tailbone, extension through the inner thighs, contraction through the outer hips, weight in the heels, upper body back, elbows lift. If the hands are touching, forearms away from the face for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Straighten the legs, sweep the arms overhead, and last time, come on down with football goalpost arms. Elbows in towards the armpits, shoulder blades on the back, shoulders away from the ears, lower ribs in and back, tailbone lengthens down, extension through the inner knees, contraction through the outer hips, knees are over the heels, weight in the heels for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Straighten the legs, straighten the arms, release the arms down, and heel toe your feet back together. Okay, grab your invisible hula hoop. Mine was just floating there. It wasn't even all the way on the ground. Okay, loop it over your head, swing it around. Okay, wow, I really missed my calling of becoming a mime there. Okay, and swing it around the other direction. Okay, wide-legged forward fold. Again, if you have props, place your blocks before you on your mat. This might also be helpful to have a blanket there. Okay, take your feet wide apart. Wide is relative in this pose. If you are unfamiliar with this pose, take your feet as wide as you are comfortable taking your feet. If you are familiar with this pose, as you get more practice in the pose, as the back body opens up, you're actually going to walk your feet closer together. Tone the muscles of your legs as though you're pulling tight stockings up your legs, hugging skin to muscle, muscle to bone, hands on the hips, shoulder blades on the back. Throw on your superhero cape, look up to the ceiling, and exhale, hinge at the hips. Bring the length of your spine parallel to the floor. Plant your wrists below your shoulders. Press your thigh bones back. Draw your shoulders away from the ears as you extend your chin and chest forward. Reach your thighs and tailbone back. And then exhale to lengthen your tail, lengthen your spine, lengthen the crown of your head towards or to the floor. Keeping your fingertips pointed in the same direction as your toes, but placing your wrists, placing your elbows shoulder width distance apart. Ground through the outer edges of the feet, lift into the kneecaps. Spiral the inner thighs back and apart as you cascade length from the hips down the spine, down through the crown of the head, and find something to ground your head on. So maybe someday eventually it could be the mat. If it is not the mat today, I think it is beneficial to have something to ground your head into so you can connect with that experience of extending energy down through the crown of your head.
So I often use this as a preparation for our headstand practice. So you get this sense of not only that your head is weight bearing, because it's not very weight bearing in this shape, but then you can connect with that idea of pushing down. So when your head is bearing so much of the weight of your body, you are still actively pushing down to create a sense of connection, to create a sense of stability. So if you are familiar with this pose, if your head is on the floor and your elbows are at a 90-degree angle, you may begin to shift weight to your head. Elevate your legs out, up, and overhead. If this is not in your practice, maybe it's not in your practice today, but maybe you put the head down, lift the shoulders up. Notice what it might feel like to transition weight from the feet into the head. Okay, walk the hands back below the shoulders. Come back up halfway. Hands to hips, elbows to the ceiling, draw back through the sides of the waistline, come on up. Heel toe your feet back in. Pick up your invisible hula hoop. Put it over your head. Spin it in one direction. And take it off. Spin it in the other direction. Really amusing myself with those antics there. Okay, so the big three standing poses, as I call them, Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2, Trikonasana, triangle pose, and Parsva Konasana, side angle pose. So again, I'm really promoting props today. So if you have props, place a block at the right side of your mat. If you have two blocks, place a block at the left side of your mat. If you do not have props, you can still do this. Step to the center of your mat, lengthen down through the tailbone, broaden your collarbones, bring your hands together in front of your heart. Exhale and hop or step your feet wide apart. Adjust your feet so that your ankles reside below your wrists about. It's hard to tell from the vantage point of your own face if you're not looking directly into a monitor, but it's a wide stance. Tone up the muscles of your legs, lengthen down through the tailbone, broaden across your collarbone, reach through your fingertips. This is a pose. This is a moment to be present. From here, we're going to turn the right toes out. I'm not mirroring you. Turn the right toes out 90 degrees. Remember, the knee is going to bend in the direction of the toes, so look down at the knee as you bend the knee in the direction that the toes are pointing. Sinking the hips down. Keep the hips and chest squared forward, so likely you will actively press the left thigh bone back. Draw the left outer ribs back. Wrap the right outer ribs forward so the chest and hips are squared forward. Just like goddess pose, there's an extension from the right inner groin out through the right inner knee, contraction from the outer knee to the outer hip. Notice if the right toes are turning colors. Shift weight back to the right heel and to the outside of the left foot. Take your gaze out beyond your right fingertips, chin parallel to the floor. This is your warrior pose. Embody your warrior. Don't forget to breathe. Deepen the breath. And then straighten the right leg. Take the block to the outside of the right shin. Sweep the arms up. Lift into the right kneecap. Square the hips and chest forward. Exhale, right hand comes straight down to the right block. This is not how every triangle pose is taught, but this is one way to do it, and this is my preferred method most of the time. So instead of reaching, we're just going to bring the hands straight down to the outside of the shin. So there are three heights of the block. Determine which height is appropriate for your body and for your intention today. So are you trying to push it? Are you trying to get to those boundaries and break them down? Then maybe try a lower setting on your block. Are you trying to be supportive of your body and letting your body ease into the postures and into the practice slowly? Then maybe the block is more appropriate at a higher height. Lower ribs revolve forward, upper ribs revolve back. How does it feel to take the gaze up? Is it disruptive, distracting for the neck? If so, you can always take the gaze forward or even down. Expand across the front of the pelvis, down through the legs. Expand across the chest,
up through the left fingertips, down through the right palm, and then draw it all back in. You are a star expanding and collapsing all at once. Okay, left arm pulls you up. Let's take the hands to the hips, squaring the hips forward, and take the block to the outside of the right ankle when you have the chance. My stance feels like it got a little wider, so readjust your stance. Hips and chest squared forward. Look at your right knee, bend the knee in the direction of the toes. Sink the hips back down into a warrior two stance. Sweep the arms up. Exhale, right hand to the block, left arm to the sky. Stack the shoulders. Right ribs revolve forward, left ribs revolve back. Again, if you have the block, find an appropriate setting for your block. If the block is not there, you don't have a block, or it's not accessible, you can use the right forearm on the thigh. If you're doing that, lift into the right side body as you revolve it forward. Don't sink down onto it. Okay, left arm forward. Knife edge of the hand points towards the floor, so you sweep the left arm over the left ear. My body parts are nearly indistinguishable from this blonde wood. I find that very funny. Okay, right ribs forward, left ribs back. It's almost like I don't have arms right now. But what I'm doing is reaching with my left fingertips, grounding with the outer edge of my left foot, press your left thigh bone back, scoop your tailbone forward, widen your right leg into your right arm, side angle pose. Left arm to the sky, inhale, come back up. Whew, right toes forward. Take a break with the hands on the hips. Might even walk your feet in a little closer together. Let's just step them all the way together. Boy, those were long holds, were they not? Whew. Okay, we're in this together. Let's do that the second side. Hands together in front of the heart. With an exhale, hopper step, your feet wide apart. Adjust your feet so that your ankles are below your wrists. Expand across your chest, extend down through your legs. Lower ribs in and back. Turn the left toes out 90 degrees. Hips and chest stay squared forward. Look at your left knee as you bend the left knee in the direction of your left toes. Extend through the inner thigh, contract through the outer hip. Make sure the knee is pointing in the same direction of the toes. As you look down to the inseam of the knee, you should be able to see the left big toe. Press the right thigh bone back. Draw the right ribs back. Shoulder blades down the back. Lower ribs in and back. Extension, contraction. Extension, contraction. Lengthen down. Push back. Okay, look out beyond your left fingertips. Embody your warrior. Are your left toes turning colors from weight bearing and pressure? Shift weight back to your left heel, back to the outer edge of your right foot. Sink deeper into your front thigh. 5, 4. Keep breathing. 3, 2, and 1. Straighten the left leg. Place the block at the outside of your left shin. Square your hips and chest forward. Tone up the muscles of your legs. Sweep your arms up. And as you exhale, left hand straight down to the block. Stack the shoulders. Broad across the pelvis. Wrap the right outer hip towards the wall behind you. Pull the left hip crease away from your left armpit. So again, decide an appropriate height for your left hand. Okay, look up if it's not distracting or just uncomfortable for the neck. Maybe it is uncomfortable and you want to focus on that discomfort. You want to be present with it. You want to work through it. Notice what you're feeling, where you're feeling. Are you moving as you intended, with intention? Arrive in this moment. Arrive in a state of wonder. One of my longtime teachers, Cal Clemens, would always say, this could be the pose. This could be the moment. This could be the moment where you accept exactly where you are, where you accept that the pose is perfect as it is. Inhale, draw back through the right arm, and then place the block at the outside of the left ankle. Again, hands on the hips to keep those hips honest. Bend the knee in the direction of the toes, sink the hips back down, warrior two. Sweep the arms up. Exhale, left hand to the block or forearm to the thigh. Stack the shoulders, stack the hips, extend through the left inner thigh, contract through the left outer hip, push the left leg into the left arm. Revolve the left ribs forward, right ribs back. Are the left toes turning colors? Shift weight to the heel, ground through the outside of the right foot. Right arm parallels the floor. Razor edge of the hand points towards the floor. Sweep your right arm over your right ear. As you sweep it, the chest might turn down. Start to revolve the ribs forward, the bottom ribs forward, the top ribs back. Open up, extend along your right side body. Soften the edges of your mouth. Relax your jaw. Look up, breathe. Right arm to the sky, draw back through center. Whew. Heel toe your feet in, hands together in front of your heart. Exhale, hop or step your feet back together. Shake it out. That was a lot. And let's get down onto our mats into a kneeling pose. So we're going to do the sequence of camel rabbit. I've encountered these two poses in unison or in connection with one another. If you're not familiar with poses, you'll see what I'm talking about. But camel is a back bend, where the spine, the back of the spine is contracting, so the front of the vertebra are opening. You know, so if you think about your spine, nobody's ever said this before, to my knowledge. I've never heard anybody say this before, but I'm making this up. If you think of your spine like an accordion, it's going to open this way, and then it's going to open this way. Okay, so we'll start with the camel pose. So I also think this is, similar, these poses together is similar to our cat and cow poses. So knees below the hips. Lengthen your tailbone down. Place your hands in your back pockets as though you had back pockets on your yoga pants. Lengthen the tailbone down. Roll the shoulders back. Lift the chest and gaze up. Collarbones are broad. Push the feet down. Think about creating space, openness, and lightness in the chest with each breath. Either choose to stay here or turn your hands around. Fingertips point up towards the back of your heart, up towards the ceiling. Heels of the hands press the flesh of the buttocks down, reminding the tailbone to lengthen. Choose to stay here or start to lean your head back, either keeping the head suspended or if it feels okay for the neck, releasing it all the way back. And then hands to heels, fingers inside, thumbs outside, inner elbows roll out to either side of the room. Lift the shoulder blades behind the heart, lift the heart. The higher the heart, the longer the spine, the more space there is to curl back into the unknown. Okay, look back, ground through the thighs, open the front of the body. Be here now. Okay, hands to hips, hips forward, ribs forward, chest forward, head comes up last. And then knees together, take a seat on your heels, neutralize the spine. Head over heart, heart over hips, shoulder blades on the back, shoulder blades down the back, chin parallel to the floor. Again, opportunity to arrive in the present moment. Don't miss this next breath. And we will do it again. Rest and work. Rest and work, rest and work. Lengthen the tailbone down, ground through the knees, shoulder blades back, collarbones broad, heart lifts. Curl back, flip the hands, press the flesh to the buttocks down, lift the heart, roll the shoulders back, stay here, or grab the heels. Inner heels with fingers, outer heels with thumbs. Lift the heart, look back, release back. If that feels okay for the neck, look back, release back. And do you want something else? Would it be compliant? Would it be in line with your intention to go back into a pigeon pose. So take the arms overhead, bring the fingertips to the floor. Hands to hips, hips forward, ribs forward, chest forward, head comes up last. Knees together, feet together, sit the hips down onto the heels. Neutralize the spine, palms on the thighs. Okay, so we're gonna do the rabbit pose next. I haven't done them in quite such close proximity to one another in a while. So let's go into this slowly because it is a pretty dramatic counter pose. It's pretty dramatically moving the spine in the opposite direction as our camel pose. So putting your fingertips on your heels, sitting your hips on your heels. Let's hinge forward at the hips and then gingerly, mindfully round your spine, chin to chest, forehead or temples touch the knees. Maybe the head lands on the mat in front of the knees. This could be the pose. This could be the place where you explore. If it feels okay for the low back, begin to push your shins down, push your knees down, and lift your hips up. Pull your forehead towards the knees. Keep a good grip on the heels with the hands as you push the hips high into the air. Round the spine. So again, remember that comparison with the accordion. So that the back of the vertebra, we're coming together as the front of the vertebra, we're opening. Now the front of the vertebra, we're opening as the back side of the vertebra expand apart. Also, there's a strong pulling of the shoulder blades apart behind the heart. Slowly push your way back up from the rabbit pose into a neutral spine. Shoulder blades down the back. Notice what you're feeling, where you're feeling. And we will do that one more time. So fingertips to the heels, hinge at the hips, tuck the chin to the chest, forehead towards or to the knees, head lands in front of the thighs if possible. Grip the ankles, grip the heels, and then begin to lift the hips up. Belly button in towards your spine, hips lift high, shoulders are pulled away from one another. Feel the back body, send breath, send space between the vertebrae along your spine. And then slowly, hips lower down, push yourself back up, neutral spine. Return to the breath. Shoulder blades down the back, collarbones broad, sits bones grounding towards the heels. And then swing the legs to one side and forward. Slowly lower down onto your back. Take your arms out to a T, feet as wide as the mat. And exhale, let the knees fall to the right, left inner thigh towards the floor. Inhale, bring the knees through center, and as you exhale, let the knees fall to the left. Inhale, center, move the legs side to side with your breath. Minimal effort required for these movements. Massaging the low back, extending across the front of the hip, letting the head and chest be heavy. And the next time that you find the knees pointing towards the right wall, if you'd like, flex the right foot and hook the right ankle to the outside of the left thigh. Using the weight of the right leg to draw the left inner thigh deeply towards the floor. If this feels painful or tweaky on the low back, then unhook the leg. But if this feels like you're getting a nice expansion across the front of the left hip, the left side of the body, or something else pleasurable or interesting, explore that. Slow and deepen the breathing.
Unhook, recenter the knees, and then release the knees now to the left. Again, you can hook the left ankle now to the outside of the right thigh, using the weight of the left leg to pull the right inner thigh down, perhaps experiencing that stretch along the front of the right hip. Avoid pain or pinching, tweakiness in the low back. It is hard to know which sensations to accept or which sensations to accept and which sensations are a signpost or a warning to back off. I'm not saying I always know that for myself, but hopefully over the course of the practice, over the course of this growing intimacy with your body and how it moves and where you feel things, there's a deepened trust that you will move in the way, you will adjust in the way that is most beneficial to life in this body. Okay, so lift your feet up, take hold of the knees, rock the hips from side to side, massaging the sacral spine into the floor. Draw the knees in and up towards the armpits. Take hold of the outer edges of the feet for happy baby pose. Shins perpendicular to the floor, soles of the feet open to the ceiling. Rock side by side, side to side, pulling one knee down to the earth and then the other. Okay, feet together, widen the knees apart, interlace the fingers around the outer edges of the feet as you lie on your back in bound angle pose, Baddha Konasana, lengthening the spine, extend through the inner thighs, contract through the outer hips. Let the pressure of the feet and the hands pull the arms straight, and then pulling the heads of the arm bones forward so you feel an expansion across the upper back perhaps. Let go. And give yourself a hug. You did it. You made it here to this ending, to this point before Savasana. Give yourself a hug. Tell yourself in whatever words you know how to tell yourself that you love you. Tuck your chin to your chest, forehead towards or to the knees. Squeeze the legs together. Tuck the tailbone, round the spine away from the floor. And then slowly make your way to lying on your back for Savasana, or if you have props, big prop, big prop pusher today is what I am. If you have a hard blanket or a firm pillow or even a bolster, you might take that prop to the baseboard of a wall. And if you have a strap, and you are so inclined to take the 3 seconds to put a loop in your strap that's about 1 foot in diameter, bring your hips to the wall, put your heels on the wall, scoot your hips up onto the height of your blanket so that the pelvis is supported on the blanket and the upper back is on the mat. And loop your strap around your ankles. So this is in lieu of a inversion today in the form of, we didn't do headstand or handstand today. So this is a good way to end the practice, or lying on your back. Whatever you've chosen, choose to arrive. Consider that this is the moment of reflection. This is the moment of absorption. Experience the effects of the practice of this moving with intention, this attempt at being present for 60 minutes.
what is now the immediate result, the immediate resonance of this experience in your body, your physical body, your emotional body, your mental being. Can you take a step back from all of that activity to observe? So many layers of this. Can we observe without judgment? Can we observe without attachment, without value, without evaluation? Surrender to this moment. Get a glimpse of your body, your being, as a conduit of energy. And roll onto your right side. Transition from your corpse pose into this fetal position. Transitioning once again from the practice. Push your way up to a seated position. Create that connection between your body and the earth, between your body and the sky, by rooting down and growing tall. Bring your hands onto your heart. Feel the ebb and flow, the swell, the recession of each breath. And might you connect with the more subtle beat of your own heart. We'll close practice with the single sound of Om. Exhale and inhale for Om. Thank you for your presence, your patience, your focus throughout this evening's practice. The light in me recognizes and bows to the light in each of you. Namaste. Thank you, whoever is out there, whether it be Jeffrey and Scotty, or Andrea, or Rich, or somebody else I know and love. I encourage you to get in touch with me. I appreciate if you have consistently gotten in touch with me. It's nice to think of you out there. yeah, I've really appreciated some feedback I've gotten over the past few weeks. Yeah, if you want to talk in depth about your experience, I'm interested. I want to hear it. I want to know about you out there. So get in touch via Facebook or Instagram, or if you have my phone number, you can text me. If you don't have any of those things, you can write an email to the Athens Public email address, and it will get to me. Okay, thank you guys so much. It's corrected on my website now, but it's Monday is a 90-minute class starting at 10 a.m. Tuesday is a 75-minute class starting at 10 a.m. ET, Eastern Time. And Wednesday is a 60-minute class starting at 5:30. And, all of these time restraints are rather loose. You know me. I very much tend to go longer than I plan. Okay, so I hope you all are having a safe, healthy, and grounded week. Grounded with some uplifting and present moments. Okay, stay in touch, and I'll see you next week.